You are 19 when the world fractures. The sirens start at 3 a.m. You're awake scrolling through your phone when the emergency broadcast interrupts everything.
Stay indoors. Avoid contact.
Report suspicious symptoms. Your mother knocks on your door within seconds. Your father is downstairs checking the locks.
Triple checking.
3 days later, a truck pulls up outside. 2 soldiers in hazmat suits. They're looking for able-bodied people between 18 and 30. They're not asking. Your father tries to refuse, but they cite emergency protocols.
You're conscripted. Your mother cries.
You have 30 minutes to pack. The training base is a converted high school gymnasium. Hundreds of recruits crammed in. Everyone is scared. Your hands shake when loading ammunition into magazines. The sergeant notices. He calls you out in front of everyone.
You feel marked. Exposed.
They teach you basic formations. How to hold a rifle even though it feels wrong in your hands. The kickback bruises your shoulder. Your arms ache in ways you didn't know were possible. They teach you to move in groups. Never alone.
Anyone could turn.
You could be infected right now and not know it. Your first real mission is a supply run. Your squad enters an abandoned neighborhood. Homes with doors hanging open. A child's bicycle on a lawn. The street is silent in a way silence shouldn't be. Your sergeant whispers orders.
Stay tight.
Weapons ready. Your heart is doing something wrong in your chest. You find the pharmacy. 3 infected are inside. Your squad takes them down efficiently. You're assigned to bag the bodies. The bodies are still warm. One was a woman, maybe your mother's age. You try not to think about her face. When you get back to base, the sergeant pulls you aside. He tells you that you froze for 2 seconds when the infected appeared. 2 seconds is the difference between living and becoming one of them. You need to be faster.
Sharper.
You nod because you don't know what else to do. Your hands shake as you walk away. You're 19 and you've already failed in ways you're still learning to understand. You get the promotion after 6 months. Your sergeant pins the stripes on your sleeve. It feels heavier than it should. Being a corporal means responsibility. You're not just taking orders anymore.
You're giving them.
Your squad has 4 people under you. You're responsible for keeping them alive. The first mission where you're leading, your hands shake differently. Not from fear of dying. From fear of getting them killed. You brief them on the route. You've studied the maps for hours. You still don't know if it's enough. Nothing feels like enough. You enter the zone. It's a commercial district reclaimed by decay.
Storefronts boarded up. Vehicles abandoned.
The smell is worse than it used to be. Your squad moves in formation. You're in the middle where you can see them all. You call out hand signals.
Forward. Steady.
Then Martinez steps on something.
A wire.
It triggers an infected nest. Maybe 20 of them pouring out of a collapsed building. Your training kicks in. You're shouting orders but your voice sounds like someone else's.
Return fire. Establish perimeter. Chun is panicking. Akbar is covering him.
Hayes is running ammunition. You're calculating angles and distances while your stomach tries to escape your body. The firefight lasts maybe 3 minutes. It feels like hours. When it ends, 3 infected are down. One was moving toward Chun before you shot it. The proximity makes your hands numb. But something changes in you. Leadership means making choices that get people hurt. You didn't protect Chen, you killed what threatened him. That's what leadership is. Calculated violence. Deciding who lives and who doesn't in seconds. You're 19 going on something much older. You lose Private Hayes next month. Not to infected. To infection. He'd been bitten weeks before and didn't report it. By the time symptoms showed, it was too late. He turned during sleep shift.
Akbar did it.
He volunteered and you let him because sometimes mercy is the burden you distribute among your team. You're promoted to sergeant after that. You're 23 now and you've seen things that reorganized your brain. The promotion to sergeant came with different weight. You're responsible for strategy. Command listens to you. Your recommendations shape operations. People live or die based on what you decide. Your squad has rotated. Martinez is still with you. Chun left after a breakdown.
Akbar is dead.
He went into a building alone. The infected were waiting. You heard him screaming over the radio for exactly 8 seconds before transmission cut out. You ordered retreat. No one else was dying for a body. Now you have new people under you. Sergeant Rodriguez, who questions your orders but executes them perfectly. Corporal James, who is mechanically competent but emotionally distant. Corporal Wright, who is too eager. Private Torres, who reminds you of yourself when you started.
The missions have changed. You're doing reconnaissance.
Establishing perimeters. Making recommendations about which sectors are sustainable and which need sealing off permanently. You're part of conversations about resource allocation. Which neighborhoods get protection? Which ones get abandoned? These decisions have consequences. One mission involves evacuating a civilian shelter in the East Sector. Intelligence suggests infected population is growing. The shelter houses 87 people. Your job is extracting them safely.
You plan for 3 days.
You map every street. You identify choke points. You prepare contingency routes. Halfway through, a child breaks formation. A girl may be 7 years old.
She sees a dog. She runs toward it. Your heart stops.
Rodriguez moves, but you're already moving.
You grab her, lift her, move back into formation.
The dog vanishes into an alley. The child cries silently. You don't tell her the dog was probably infected. The evacuation completes successfully. All 87 civilians reach the northern compound. Your command recognizes it as clean operation.
No casualties. Perfect execution.
But you're thinking about the dog. You're thinking about the child's face. You're thinking about how many decisions like this you'll make before this is over. Your father contacts you through communication system. Your mother is sick. Infection suspected. They're monitoring her.
He wants you to know. In case. You listen 3 times. You don't respond.
There's nothing to say. You are 27 years old and you command 300 soldiers across 5 operational sectors. They needed someone who understood ground-level realities and strategy. Someone who'd survived long enough to know what works.
That's you now.
Your office is in what used to be a bank building. Maps cover every wall. Radio operators communicate with squad leaders in the field. Major Williams is your second in command. She understands tactics in ways others had to learn through survival. Martinez is your field operations officer now. He's a major. He briefs you on squad performance without looking at you when discussing casualties. You both know that's part of command. You command resources that happen to be human. Your mother died 3 weeks ago. Your father made it another 2 months before symptoms showed. You approved his transfer to the medical wing. You didn't visit. The conflict of interest was too severe. He turned before injection protocol was scheduled. Major Williams confirmed it was quick. One night you review casualty reports and notice a pattern. Sergeant Wright has lowest casualty rates but highest infection counts among his soldiers.
You call him in.
He admits it immediately. He's been exposing soldiers to contained infected to build immunity. It's not working.
You file charges. He'll be executed. You feel nothing about it.
Command pushes for expansion into the eastern zone. The infected population is dense. Risk is astronomical.
You refuse.
They threaten to replace you. Major Williams later tells you command back down. You're too valuable to remove. The infected begin coordinated assault on northern perimeter.
This is new.
They've never done this before.
They move in waves. Hundreds of them. Organized.
Your soldiers hold but ammunition is running out. You call for air support. Drone strike happens 40 minutes later. You lose 12 soldiers. You estimate 400 infected killed. That night you stand on observation platform watching smoke curl into sky. You're trying to remember what you wanted to be before this. You can't access that memory anymore. There's no before. Only decisions and people who died because of them. Martinez joins you. After a while he asks if there's an end goal. You tell him survival is the goal. It's the only goal. He nods like he expected that answer. Command sends transmission. Vaccine candidate shows promise. They want your sector to volunteer soldiers for trials. You know what that means. You approve it anyway. What choice do you have? 3 months later, 2 show immunity markers. The vaccine is being fast-tracked. For the first time, there's something resembling hope. You don't let yourself believe in it. Hope is luxury you can't afford. You're 27 and you command 300 soldiers. The boy from before is completely gone. What remains is efficient. Strategic. Capable of calculus required. Tomorrow there will be more missions, more reports, more choices. You'll make them the same way you've made all the others, with full knowledge of cost and no alternative but to proceed.